Councilmember Gallo would not accept this amendment. It's not friendly. It calls for a lot more work than what is demonstrated in just adding this amendment. It potentially sets up a system that would, you could buy off potential equity applicants. It just sets up a whole lot of things that are not fleshed out here. And so that is why in the last meeting, when you offered the exact same amendment, it was not accepted. So I would hope that that wouldn't be accepted. That said, I listened closely to the dialogue tonight, and over the last couple of weeks around the whole equity program, the residency requirement, and it's really interesting to me, to the people who decided that they were coming to Oakland to open up your business. Can we go back with you to wherever you live to see if Oaklanders can open up in your city? Because I haven't heard a single one of you ask that, you know, an Oaklander to come to your city and open up a business and hope that your city government was going to be tolerant of outsiders coming to your city to do stuff. The other thing that's really, really interesting to me is that there's this notion that somehow you all be deprived. So the gentleman who got up and said, I own some warehouses in Oakland, but I don't live in Oakland. And if you pass this residency requirement, I won't be able to rent my warehouse to an applicant. I won't be able to rent my warehouse, but somehow you want to come and get a permit from us. I didn't hear a single person talk about who said that it was going to prevent outsiders from coming in. What about the whole notion? The whole reason that I started talking about equity was I was hoping to push people into partnerships, right? And so what happened to the notion of partnership? Never even considered that. It was always that it needs to be my way. It needs to be my way, otherwise it's got to be wrong. And so I've watched this whole process because I've said a number of times, not just in this legislation, but in any legislation that I write, I say it's a starting point for conversation, not the end. Not the end, a starting point. But nobody came and had honest dialogue with me around trying to make changes. And so it has been a battle. It has been a battle throughout the entire process, getting people to not just say the word equity, but to truly understand what equity looks like. And so it is very interesting to have watched this process. And in a lot of ways, really disheartening. Because people who I would have expected, people who I've known for years, showed yourself in a way that was very, very interesting. Very interesting is the word I'll use, and not the best, not necessarily the best life. This whole notion that somehow you'll threaten and that we're supposed to be afraid, that you say something and it's supposed to be the gospel, that there couldn't be residency requirements. Look around, there's residency requirements on a lot of different things, not just in cannabis, on a lot of different things. And so to pretend like cannabis can't be subjected to these things, there is case law around this, that there are ways that could allow for a residency requirement. And so I suggest that people read the full case, not just the part that supports your position. I would say to the Oaklanders, because in this process, it's real important to stay focused. And so I'd say to the Oaklanders and to the people who aren't from Oakland, there's a quote that I think is really important. And to different people, it's going to mean different things. But Assata Shakur said, It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. This whole process, has had a real slave-like, plantation-like connotation to it. And so people need to lose their chains. People are tired of people dictating to them what is acceptable and not acceptable in their community. And that is the fight that you see here. That is the fight. And so people don't merely want to hear people come in and tell them what's good enough for them. They want to be able to determine their own futures. That is what this struggle has been about. And so it is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains.